Hey up everyone, welcome back to the Rugby League History channel. Today on the channel I'll be doing my tips and predictions for round 22 of the 2024 NRL season. Last round in round 21 I did quite well. I got 6 out of 8 correct. Let me know in the comment section below how many you got correct, but let's crack on with round 22. And the first match to kick us off starts on Thursday. It's between West Tigers and North Queensland. This one's being played at Leichhardt Oval. West Tigers currently bottom of the table, North Queensland in 6th place. In the last 10 meetings between these two sides, they've won 5 matches each. Last time that North Queensland played at this ground, however, round 12 2023, they were beaten 66 points to 18, and I believe that's West Tigers' biggest ever win and one of North Queensland's worst ever losses. North Queensland's record at Leichhardt Oval is not very good. They've played 14 matches there since 1998 and only won 2 of those, so not a happy hunting ground for them. They did get a good win against Cronulla last time out, and they're starting to look good. They're starting to play themselves into form. They are coming into this game without Cotter and Jason Taumalolo. With West Tigers, they lost last time out against New Zealand in Auckland. West Tigers, even though they're bottom of the table, they've been competitive in some of the more recent games. They've been scoring points. They just lack the quality overall, I feel. This is a real banana skin game for North Queensland. I think they're going to have to be ready for a match, because I think if they don't show up, West Tigers could steal a victory. Of course, this game has a bit of flavour to it. I believe that this match is a grudge match between these two sides. I did a video on this maybe a couple of months ago, because there is a bit of a history between these two clubs, same as last time out where North Queensland played against Cronulla. Bit of history between them two sides. So for this game, I will go for North Queensland to win. I think this will be a very close game, but I'll go for North Queensland to win by 1 to 12 points on the Thursday night. First match on the Friday is between New Zealand and Parramatta. This one's being played at Mount Smart Stadium in Auckland. New Zealand in 12th, Parramatta in 16th. In recent times, Parramatta have had the wood over New Zealand. They've won 7 of the last 10 meetings. However, the last time that they actually won at Mount Smart Stadium in Auckland was round 26 2016, where they beat New Zealand 40 points to 18. I think that's the game where Bevan French got a hat-trick. Their overall record at the venue isn't that great. They've played 19 matches there since 1995. They've won 6 of those, lost 12 and had 1 draw. Last time out, New Zealand had a decent win over West Tigers, and as for Parramatta, by all reports it were a game where they were competitive, but once again they were just shooting themselves in the foot with stupid shite once again, like getting sin-binned right before half-time, doing the wrong thing over and over again in the attack, trying to force things, and it's not looking good for Parramatta at the moment. They've got 7 of their first team players out, and they've lost 6 matches in a row coming into this game. I'm not really expecting much from Parramatta this week. I think New Zealand will win well. I think that they'll win 13 plus there over in Auckland. And the main match of the Friday comes to us from HBF Park in Perth. It's Redcliffe against Sydney Roosters. Redcliffe in 8th at the moment and Sydney Roosters in 3rd. These two sides have played each other twice with 1 win apiece. With this game being in Perth at HBF Park, Sydney Roosters have never played there. Of course, this will be Redcliffe's first trip out to Western Australia as a club. The last NRL game to be played there was in round 17 of the 2017 NRL season between Manly and New Zealand. There used to be an annual game taken out there for a couple of years in a row where Souths were the home team, and then all of a sudden they just dropped that for some reason. I don't know why, but Rugby League returns to Perth for this game. Last time out, Gold Coast had a disappointing loss against the Gold Coast, I should say, or Redcliffe had a disappointing loss against the Gold Coast. As for Sydney Roosters, they had a good win over Manly, but really they let Manly back into the game, and I don't think Trent Robinson would be happy with that, because they were in front by a good margin and they let Manly come back in with 3 intercept tries. This is a really tricky game to call, but I just think on paper and how East have been going, I'll go for East to win by 1 to 12 points there on the Friday over in Perth. The first match on Super Saturday is between the Gold Coast and Brisbane. This one's being played at Suburbs Super Stadium. Gold Coast in 14th, Brisbane in 13th. In the last 10 meetings between these two sides, Gold Coast have a slender advantage. They've won 6 games, Brisbane have won 4, but the last 2 outings, Gold Coast have won both of those. Gold Coast had a gutsy win over Redcliffe. They were behind and came back, and they've been in a lot of games this year, the Gold Coast, but on this occasion they got the win. With Brisbane, well, we all thought that they were back, and then they get battered by Canterbury quite convincingly at Suncorp Stadium. Brisbane's season's pretty much on life support. I think if they don't win this week, that's pretty much it. Gold Coast are still in with a very slim chance of making the finals. It's all on the line, all to play for. I'm just not really sure about Brisbane. I don't know what's going on there. Something's not right. They're going to have to be on their game against the Gold Coast, because as we've seen this year, they're a hard team to put away. But I'm going to go for the upset. I'm going to go for the Gold Coast to win. I mean, when I say upset, I mean, normally you'd think Brisbane, with the team that they've got, should be winning these games, but I'm going to go for Gold Coast to win by 1 to 12 points. I think it's going to be a highly entertaining match, but I'm going to go for the men from the Glitter Strip. The second match on Super Saturday is between Melbourne and St George. This one's being played Amy Park in Melbourne. Melbourne top of the league, St George in 10th. With Melbourne, they come into this game having won their last 7 matches in a row. With St George, they've never won at Amy Park in Melbourne. Now, they've won at other venues in Melbourne, but they've never won at Amy Park since it reopened, or since it opened, I should say. So with St George last time out, they got battered by Penrith, and we've seen it a couple of times this year where they've conceded big score lines. Melbourne, by all reports against Parramatta, didn't even play that great, and they still won pretty convincingly in the end. And now with Munster, this will be his second game back. I think it's a pretty much open and shut case. I'm going to go for Melbourne to win 13 plus there on the Saturday. I think that they'll be too good for St George. And the final match on Super Saturday is between Cronulla-Sutherland and South Sydney. This one's being played at Shark Park. Cronulla in 4th at the moment, South Sydney in 15th. In the last 10 meetings between these two sides, they've won 5 matches each. Last time out, Cronulla had a disappointing loss against North Queensland. As for South Sydney, they had a disappointing loss themselves against Canberra down there in the nation's capital. South Sydney look very different without Latrell Mitchell, don't they? Since he's been out, they've kind of gone back down again. On paper, I think how things are standing, Cronulla have a better squad. They've got more players available. They had the win over them earlier in the year as well. Can Cronulla do the double over South Sydney? We'll have to wait and see. But I'm going to go for Cronulla to win by 1 to 12 points there on the Super Saturday down there at Shark Park. The first match on the Sunday is between Penrith and Newcastle. Penrith second in the league at the moment, Newcastle in 11th. Penrith have won their last 8 matches in a row against Newcastle. The last time that Newcastle defeated Penrith were in round 23 of the 2018 NRL season at Penrith Stadium, where this match was being played. However, Newcastle have a positive record at Penrith Stadium. They've won 13 matches there and they've lost 11, so they do have a positive ledger there. Newcastle come to this game off the bye, whereas Penrith, they seem to be clicking in the gear now. They've battered St George over the weekend. A very impressive display. There's also a lot of pressure on Adam O'Brien at Newcastle once again. Been seeing a lot of reports about him at the club. For this match, I think it's pretty much sort of open and shut case. I'm going to go for Penrith to win by 13 plus. I expect Penrith to keep going on the way that they've been going the last couple of weeks, and I expect them to put on a bit of a show against Newcastle. So Penrith 13 plus. And the final match to close out the round is on Sunday as well. It's Canterbury-Bankstown against Canberra at Belmore Sports Ground. Canterbury-Bankstown in 5th at the moment, and Canberra in 9th place. Now, with Canberra, they're the ultimate bogey side for Canterbury-Bankstown. They've won their last 9 matches in a row against them in the league. And once again, this is one of the back to Belmore games. Now, since Canterbury's decided to take games back to Belmore Sports Ground, they haven't really won too many of them. They haven't been that great. But with Canberra, their record at Belmore Sports Ground is fucking shocking. They've played 20 matches there since 1982, and they've only won 4 of those. They've lost 15 and they've had 1 draw. But I will say that the last 2 times that they've played in the back to Belmore game against Canterbury, they've won both of those. Last time out, Canberra had a good win over South, and Canterbury-Bankstown had a very impressive win over in Brisbane. They tortured Brisbane up there at Suncorp. So this is going to be a really interesting clash. And there's a bit riding on the game, because with Canberra they have to keep on winning. They're just outside the top 8. As for Canterbury, they also want to keep winning to cement a final spot, the first time that they'll make the finals since 2016. So a lot riding on the game, but I'm going to have to go for Canterbury in this one, the way that they've been playing. And I think if the weather's good, it'll be a sold out match on the Sunday at Belmore Sports Ground, so I'm going to go for Canterbury to win by 112 points. So there's my tips for round 22 of the 2024 NRL season. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know in the comment section below, and let me know who you're tipping. Thanks to everyone once again that tuned in last week, making my video one of the most watched tipping videos on YouTube. It's very much appreciated, and thanks to everyone that recently subscribed. Anyways, this has been Rugby League History. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch us all later in the next one. Alright, ta-ra for now.